Well, hello, sixth grade again. Today it is the day 29 of Learning Online, and the date is May 7th. And I know I must be long-winded. Really, I don't talk that much when we're in the class. I try to have you talk, but I guess I have to do all the talking now. But some of the little things are long, so I'm going to try to keep some of them even shorter than 15 minutes. I'm going to try. It would be helpful if I would stop the stopwatch and start it again. I need to set a timer so it dings or something because this little stopwatch, don't look at it. I get caught up. I just want y'all to be healthy and safe and doing the best you can. So let's talk about the skeletal system. I don't even have to tell you what it is because the skeletons, you always see them at Halloween and stuff. It's the part that keeps us standing upright. Let's see. The body system that serves as a support framework. It protects the vital organs, works with muscles to produce movement, and produces blood cells in the skeletal system. You might not think of it as a protector, but what in the world do you think those ribs are doing? How many times have you fallen down and hurt your ribs and it's so sore, or maybe you even pierced it through the rib? Can you imagine what it'd be like if you did not have those ribs and it went right to a vital organ? So they're a protector for us too. Yes, I do have a picture for you, but it was evidently so big that it decided to go to the next page. Cranium, mandible, clavicle. No, we're not going to learn a little song about it, but I thought you might like to see all the names of these. And I thought it interesting. I guess I had forgotten that the phalanges are the fingers, but you'll notice that down here on the bottom, the phalanges are also the toes down in here. But I did find it interesting. A lot of you have had to have some casts put on, and they say, "Well, you have broken your ulna, or you've broken the radius bone." And you see them here and there. Or mostly we talk about, especially this last year, it seemed like everybody was on crutches. The femur. If you break the femur, now that is the largest. I don't know that it's the largest, but it is a thick bone that it's your thigh bone. And then, did you break the tibia, which is the biggest bone in the calf of your leg, and then the fibula? But people, when they come back, the doctors they don't just say you broke your leg. They tell you what part you broke. So I thought you might really find that interesting. If you've broken anything, that you can actually see what it looks like under the skin, unless you broke something and the bone was protruding from the skin, and I hope that did not happen to anybody. Okay, so what are we going to know about the skeletal system? Let's see. Well, the bone is structural material of the skeletal system. Periosteum, that does not sound, periosteum, that's how it's pronounced, is the thin tissue that covers the bone and contains nerves and blood cells. I don't know how else to explain this, but we have a lot of hunters. But whenever, and maybe you shot a deer, and then you're skinning it, and you look at the bone, and you see this film on there, you see stuff on there, you see that there's tissue attached to the bone. That's what we're talking about here. That thin tissue that covers the bone, and it contains nerves and blood vessels. Okay. And we already spoke about bone marrow and how important it is, but now we're going to talk about it specifically. It's that soft tissue, and it's in the center of most bones, like I told you in a chuck roast that has the bone in. And there's both red and white blood cells, and it's where they're formed. It's where they get started, your bone marrow. A lot of people sometimes are candidates if they have cancer, and depending on the kind of cancer, and they say, I think it'd be helpful if we do a bone marrow transplant. They don't scrape all your bone marrow out and put new in there. They give you somebody else's bone marrow to help start it and that's really, really healthy, and maybe it'll grow into being even healthier in your body. But that's a big, long thing of which I don't know a lot about, but I know they do bone marrow transplants. Then we have cartilage. It's a really soft, it's a connective tissue, and it's on the end of some bones. And you may wonder what it's holding your bones together. It's the tissue that keeps all those. I mean, just look above here at these phalanges and metatarsals. What's holding in them? If it were just the skeleton, you could flick those and they'd be gone. But something's holding them together, and that's where the cartilage, the ligaments come in. Cartilage and ligaments. And don't think just because it's not part of the bone that if something happens to it, it doesn't hurt. You have a tendon or that is not stretched or something, and you can hardly walk because it has drawn up and you have to get physical therapy. It can be very painful. Anyway, cartilage, ligaments. I don't know why I don't have tendons written up there. Joints. That is odd. But anyway, it's acts as a cushion where bones meet, like in the knee or the hip joint. Also, in your vertebrae, coming down your back, there's cartilage between each one of those vertebrae because you don't want those bones bumping together. And that cartilage protects and cushions them. Okay. They're like shock absorbers on your car. And ligament, it's a really tough fiber that connects bones together. These are tough. And the joint is the point where two bones meet. And you got a lot of places in your body where joints meet. Whoop. You can see all these joints that we've got, and the hips and all up in here. Lots of joints. And it's held together by this cartilage and ligaments. Then that's held together and protected by, we aren't going to talk about it yet, muscles. Okay. So how are we keeping this skeletal system happy? Happy. I don't know how we're keeping it happy, but healthy. Well, it'll be happy if it's healthy. Choose foods that are rich in calcium and phosphorus and vitamin D. You can get vitamin D from the sun. You don't want too much sun, and you're going to have to wear sunscreen. But it helps keep your system healthy. You can exercise it. It strengthens those joints and those muscles and the cartilage and all. It keeps it working well. You can wear protective equipment. And like if you're playing football or soccer, anything, in soccer you've got the knee pads, skateboarding, protective equipment for all of these bones and their cartilage. Also, properly fitting shoes. If you don't have shoes that fit well, now what a long day you're having. And even high heels, that's if you wear high heels a lot, and I'm sure as a sixth grader you don't, but I see people walk down the street and I wonder how they can even stay up. Little stilettos to work every day. Don't know how they do it. Anyway, also to your skeletal system, your skeleton itself, to sit and stand and walk with correct posture. It keeps everything in the line of which it should be and not all humped over, and then it sort of, it just, anyway, walking straight up. You know what? I'm going to stop right here because I went over on the last three. So I'm going to stop here with today and move on to muscular system tomorrow. So, short day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, kids.